Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierra. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piorski, coming to you live from the East Coast, coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and everything's looking good, Craig. Watching all the monitors, watching all the gauges, everything looks good today.
That's probably because it's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, buddy.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. It's like a treat.
Ah, Taco Tuesday. Good day to be. Good day to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna have me a tobacco taco during the break, during the show here, if that's all right. So,
Oh, there you go. There you go. Just don't forget the cheese.
that's on the other end.
There you go. Yeah, the cheese is on the other end. Good stuff. Good stuff. How are we doing today, my friend?
Yeah, not too shabby. It's about 1,000 degrees here today. Other than that, it's all good. Everything's good.
Well, same here. It's not 1,000 degrees here today, but the weather's been really nice. It's been keeping like in the low 90s, which makes for a very, very comfortable morning and evening. You know, mid to late afternoon gets a little warm, but I don't work outside, so that doesn't bother me much. But we have a good time here, man. Just loving the weather, loving the time. Good stuff happening, even though it is California.
It's 99 right now, so I take it back. It's not 1,000. It's just 1 degree under 1,000. So
1 degree under 1,000. That's according to the new math.
listen, when you get to 100 degrees outside, it might as well be 1,000. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Well, and that's what I say here. I'm like, it's not hot till it's 100. It's just not.
Right.
When people are like, oh my God, like if it's been, because it's been, wintertime, it'll be cool or cold. And they'll be like, oh my God, it's 82 degrees. It's so hot. I'm like, really?
82 is
In
nothing.
the middle of August, if it's 82, you're going to put a coat on.
Yeah. A choke on 82. Nothing. And it's actually light humidity right now. It's only 58% humidity right now.
Oh, well, there you go. See? Things are looking up in Florida.
Yeah. It's just, I want to make sure everybody around the country heard that. That's low humidity for us, 58%.
Yes, low percent. Oh God, I don't even know. That would be, most Californians would be choking at 58% humidity.
Hey, with 58% humidity, you wouldn't have a water shortage anymore.
No, because Democrats would find a way to ruin it.
It's true. See, we don't have to put water in a preserve or reserve like you do, because you've been here. You wake up every morning and your grass is wet and your roof is wet and everything's wet. You're like, what happened?
Just
Did it rain last
some water,
night?
just squeeze out the grass.
No, it's just the way it is here. It's just,
That be the way it be.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, let's get into the program and start off with our quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, let's say hi to our good friends over at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Want to get yourself a new AR barrel? This is the place you got to go. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire for your current AR rifle or for your next build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in concealed tactical holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, military, fire, EMS, whatever it is, get your group together, get your agency together, make an order over at uscombatgear.com, where you get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit their websites. All you have to do is follow the links on the description or in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also,
Yeah.
want to encourage you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me throw a little extra shout out at Scott over at uscombatgear.com. I texting back and forth with him a couple of days going through ROTC, needs to get a new rucksack. They got old nasty stuff there. Happened to bring it up in passing. It came in the mail. Yesterday.
Wow.
Brand new rucksack, all the attachments. Dirt cheap price. Took care of this kid. Took care of this young man.
I got to tell you, and that just speaks to, and we had a long conversation at SHOT, and we did an interview with Scott, and they specialize, and they really are proud of the level of customer service that they provide for a lot of their large orders. Their representatives actually do a lot of the deliveries. They'll help you set up. There's so many things that they will do to help you. So trust me, if customer service means a lot to you, you definitely need to check out uscombatgear.com.
There you go.
All right, folks, also want to encourage you, if you are watching the program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, go ahead and comment. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about. Let us know what you think about the show. We will share your comments if we find them to be interesting. We do not have to agree with them. We just have to find them interesting. Although if we do not agree with them, well, let's just say this. We do reserve the right to mock you. And as Mike would say, we will mock you. All right, let's go ahead and get into today's news programs. We're going to start here with we thought things were going well on the border, and they are. They're actually going quite well there on the border. But one of the things that's actually kind of, let's just say this. They're going good, and now they're going even better. That's right. There is a report out. This is an exclusive there over at the New York Post. It says here, border agents didn't release a single migrant into the U.S. last month, down from 64,000 under Biden. And that was once again in the same month of last year. Let's read a little bit of this article right here. It says here, Border Patrol agents didn't release a single migrant into the U.S. last month. That's right, not a one. A staggering drop after the Biden administration allowed 64,000 illegal crossers into the country in May of 2024. That's basically the same month a year ago. The Post can exclusively reveal agents caught 8,725 migrants crossing illegally at the southern border last month. That's a 93% decrease from May of 2024, when 117,905 were nabbed, according to internal data obtained by the Post. It says acting. Let's see. Here we go. Acting Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Pete Flores said it's a result of Trump administration's tougher border policies. One of the most monumental policy changes made by Trump was the reversal of President Biden's catch and release scheme, which resulted in millions of illegal border jumpers being allowed into the U.S. And folks, that's the thing that you have to understand. Now, I want you to think back. I want you to remember back to when Joe Biden was president, and you had all the Democrats were clamoring, saying, "Well, hey, the only way in which we're going to be able to do this is if we pass this bill, right? If they pass this bill, which will then turn around and give them, it'll turn around and give them money so that they can have more agents doing processing, right? They wanted more agents, they say, but they didn't want more agents to actually secure the border. They wanted agents to do processing. If you continue on in this New York Post article, that's one of the things that they talk about, that so much of what agents were being asked to do was processing, once again, fulfilling this whole catch and release scheme. It wasn't in actually securing the border. So they were like, well, we need all this money. Well, without a single cent more, in comes Donald Trump, and boom, pow, all of a sudden, border secure. Not a single person, Mike, not a single migrant was released into the United States.
What? How can that be possible? We were told for 4 years that it can't work that way. It doesn't work that way. This must be fake news. It must be a nothing burger. Oh, wait. It's actual people that care about this country and care about the border security and care about crimes in your neighborhood that have taken over this country, been put there by you and me, and now they're doing what we asked them to do, and they're doing it incredibly well.
Yes, they are. They are doing it incredibly well. It is amazing what happens when you let people, who you hire to do a thing, do their thing.
Then they do their thing? Yeah. Yeah.
And that's really all it is. He's just letting people do their thing. But Mike, I'm like, they let 64,000 people last year. I mean, in that 1 month. Now, that's just the people that they caught. That's not even the known gotaways, right? That's not even the people. I mean, anyway. They were letting about 200,000 people a month come into the country. That's about how many were coming into the country under Joe Biden.
Yeah,
and they said there was nothing they could do about it.
Right. Yeah. The 64,000 was the ones at the entry control points, right? They came through the gates, and we went 1, 2, 3, and the other 136,000 would have been the ones that just walked across the border or hiked up their pants and jumped over the puddle and came in.
They were the ones carrying the fentanyl.
And the little kids, yeah, and the women, the young women, yep.
Anyway, it is. Once again, I am so proud of the president, and I'll tell you, this is the thing. This is the thing that so many people are like. You have people on the left losing their minds at the No Kings rally. They're like, "Is this what you voted for?" And the rest of us are like, "Yeah."
Yeah, exactly what we voted for. I mean, it's very rare.
Exactly what
you voted for. We got it. Yeah, yeah.
And how rare is that?
Let's see. I would go with maybe 2 or 3 presidents total.
Yeah. Well, what gets me is this was really low hanging fruit because there was a clear sign that this would work, and that was the fact that this was the policy before Joe Biden became president, and we didn't have a huge problem at our southern border. And as soon as he undid everything Trump had put in place, that was when we had a problem at the southern border. It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like that whole, you go to the doctor and you say, "Hey doc, my arm hurts when I do this," and the doctor then says to you,
"Don't do that."
Kind of a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, and that's, by the way, not going to be the only place where we're going to see this sort of success. It's just the fastest. It's just been the fastest turnaround that we've seen. So it's not the only place we're going to see this sort of common sense sort of success.
Yep.
Now, one other thing that we're going to have to start dealing with, and I know there big things are happening. I'm going to tell you. The Middle East is going to be another big win once again for the president, who, by the way, is the only American president to actually broker peace in the Middle East. That's right. Everyone else says they're going to try and do it. Only one person actually did it, and that's Donald Trump. They're called the Abraham Accords. Look them up. I'm not going to explain it to you. If you don't know what it is, well, then I blame the mainstream media, but I blame you too. But he's the only one who's ever brokered peace in the Middle East. Well, in this particular case, Donald Trump has been able to deal with what is likely, and I would say the biggest thorn in our heel or rock in our shoe, whatever you want to say when it comes to the Middle East, and that is Iran. And he did that without the U.S. really having to do anything, and that is basically by taking the reins off, taking the muzzle off of Israel, and letting them do what they need to do in order to handle Iran, who's basically been funding every single organization that is coming against Israel there in the Middle East. Well, one of the things that they are denoting is that while they are being very, very successful, and they started an air campaign, it started last Thursday, where they've taken out pretty much the top level of Iran's military and are pretty close to decimating the second level of Iran's military. They've also come very, very close to ending their nuclear capabilities and destroying all of their missiles. It's so bad that They're only able to fire like one missile a night out at Israel anymore. But there's one aspect that they're not going to be able to handle, that they may not be able to handle, or at least as is being reported right now. And it kind of makes a lot of sense. And that is, they're pointing out that only the U.S. military can take out Iran's most dangerous nuclear site. What site is that you're talking about? That site would be Fordo. It says right here. Israel did not take out Fordo enrichment plant, which is believed to be capable of producing a nuclear warhead in as little as 2 to 3 days, according to the Institute for Science and International Security. Likely because Israel does not possess the military capability it would take to strike the Fordo facility, which is reported to be 300 feet underground. And here's an expert over at Fox News kind of explaining it.
Do you think we should help them finish the job at Fordo?
We got to help them finish the job because Fordo is deeply buried underground. That's where their enrichment facilities are. That's where they'll put their weapons scientists, their new conversion facilities. That's where they could break out to a nuclear weapon. We got the B-2 bombers. We got 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrators. Only we can slice through the concrete, slice through the mountain under which the nuclear site is buried and take it out and end the nuclear weapons program once and for all.
Unless they want to put people on the ground to go in and blow that thing up, it's hard to imagine even Mossad in a mountain trying to find out where the nuclear energy is and how they get out. It's going to be a big time. President Trump's got some big decisions. Mark, thanks so much for breaking it down for us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So, I mean, it sounds pretty basic, sounds pretty simple that it may be something that's needed. We may need to loan them the plane. We may need to actually fly the mission with the bomb. I don't know, but I know that is something that you have a lot of pundits on both the right and the left who are concerned about America getting involved in starting World War III. And I would say in this particular case, if we got involved and that's all we had to do, it's because we're not starting World War III. We're preventing World War III.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think at this point we've got to stay pretty standoffish with what's going on, Craig. As far as the getting actually physically involved. Listen, they have our aircraft now. They have our ammunition, our arms there now. I don't see why we can't give them one of these 30-pound Moabs and just let them slide it out the back of a C-130 onto target. I don't see why American B-2s have to be involved in this. I don't see why. I understand that they don't have heavy bombers in Israel, but you know what? You got heavy cargo planes, and just float one out the back of that. With all your fighter support around it, you'll be fine.
Well, and you made a great point. I didn't think about that in terms of just using a cargo plane, because right now they have air dominance there in Iran. There is paper airplanes is pretty much is what the Iranian Air Force has been reduced to.
Yeah, and you've seen the movie Outbreak, Dustin Hoffman, Cuba Gooding Jr., where they put the bomb in the back of the cargo plane and they just slide it out. It's basically that, and we do that now. Our military does that now. We send the B-2 when we want to make it a precision airstrike under the cover of stealth technology. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that in Iran right now. I mean, we could just put it in this truck with wings and fly it over there and push it out the back.
Well, and even better, we don't even have to give it to Israel. We just have to sell it to Israel.
Well, that's right.
Which basically we've done with all the rest of their munitions. Mostly have come from us.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, no, that's a great point. Because I didn't even think about the idea of using a cargo plane. Because, like you said, what sort of resistance are they going to meet at this point in time?
Zero.
Yeah. I don't think, because part of the thing though is I think people are worried about China getting involved or Russia getting involved, and both Russia and China have both told Iran to go pound sand. They said, "Okay, we'll go talk to the president." Yeah, president said, "No, you gonna have to deal with bruh."
Well, but they're involved. Listen, all of the technology that Iran's been using have been coming from China. It was Russian equipment with new Chinese upgrades. They're involved as much as we're involved, selling arms and armament
Right.
a sovereign nation.
Right. But I don't see them necessarily getting like actually involved in. I put this. I don't see them going to war with the United States over Iran. How
Yeah.
about that?
Yep. Yep. I agree.
That I do not see. Now I could see them. I could see them trying to come in and take over Iran in order to secure the oil, but I don't see them going. I think it might actually make more sense for them to just let the U.S. do what they're going to do, and then come on in and say, you know what, we'll take care of them from here. We got it.
Yeah. Nope, that'll happen. And listen, that's China's probably already there, Craig. Unless I can tell you from my time in the desert fighting certain peoples over there, that while the war is going on around them, the Chinese have already brought in road paving equipment and putting in new roads so they can claim it when it's done.
Yep.
It's just,
Yep.
we're like, who are those dudes? They're like, I don't know, some contract road crew, and it was the Chinese coming from China. They're like, oh, we're coming in. We're gonna take over your resources while you guys are fighting.
There you go. That's the way they do it. They're like, we'll let you guys fight and we'll make money.
Yep, exactly.
Good stuff. All right, our good friend Mr. Tom Knighton over at Bearing Arms wrote a piece about the shooting that took place at the No Kings protest there in Salt Lake City, and he's following up from a report. Let me read from the report first. It says here, an innocent bystander in the No Kings demonstration in downtown Salt. First of all, if you were there, I don't consider you an innocent bystander. You're just dumb. Demonstration in downtown Salt Lake City was shot and killed Saturday, police said. Arthur Folosoa Low, 39 of Utah, died in a hospital in Salt Lake City, police said in an update. Detectives believe Alo was at a demonstration as a bystander and was not intended target of the gunfire. Police arrested Arturo Gamboa, 24. He was booked into Salt Lake County Metro Jail on a murder charge. It was not immediately clear whether Gamboa was still in jail Sunday and whether he has an attorney. Also detained Saturday were two men who were part of the event, quote, peacekeeping team, end quote. One of the peacekeepers fired the shot that fatally injured Alo, police said. It was not immediately clear whether those two men will face charges. The men told police they saw Gamboa move away from the crowd and begin manipulating an AR-15 style rifle, prompting them to draw their guns and order him to drop his weapon, police said. Instead, Gamboa ran into the crowd, holding his gun in a firing position, police said. In response, one of the peacekeepers fired 3 shots. One of them struck Gamboa. The other hit Alo, according to police. Now, what they're saying on the ground right now, Mike, is they don't believe that the district attorney is going to wind up filing charges based on that account. I don't know how true that is because as Tom points out in his piece, he's like, look, when you fire a gun in public, you're responsible for every round. And he has no idea. Well, he knows where 2 of those rounds went. One went where it was intended. The other 2 did not. They did not go where he intended. One of them went and hit and killed an innocent bystander. I don't know or believe that he'll be taken up on murder charges. That peacekeeper, but there will be some sort. I believe there will be some sort of criminal charges.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're a pretty conservative state, an FAFO state there in Utah. If you fired it while in the commission of an act, it's going to be a felony murder, whether there was intent or not. If it was an accidental, clearly I was shooting at the bad guy and the round went through my target, not even around, Craig. Say it went through the target and struck somebody behind them and killed them. It can be seen as justifiable homicide, as long as the threat up front was what you were engaging and just nature happened behind it. I agree with you though. There'll be an involuntary manslaughter charge or something here, I think.
Yeah, at the very least, I would be surprised if it wasn't a negligent discharge.
Yeah.
Maybe not for the shot that hit the guy, but there will be something because once again, and I guess part of it is we got to wait and hear everything because
Yeah.
did the guy fire into a crowd? I mean,
Yeah.
did this guy fire into a crowd? Because I mean,
Right.
what would you now? You've been in law enforcement. What would a law enforcement? How is a law enforcement officer trained? You have someone who is a gunman who is brandishing a weapon in such a way where it appears he is going to be firing it. Do you fire into a crowd or not? I mean, what sort of training does law enforcement get on that?
So again, depends on the state and the laws, right? That you get,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part is, um, if that guy has, you're looking at a rifle and you know he's got a 20 round, 30 round magazine. Who knows how many more ammo he's got in his pocket? You got all these
Mm-hmm.
unknowns, and I'm confident that I could take 2 or 3 shots and put him down, thereby saving up to who knows how many lives. It's going to be a good shoot against that person, and if there happens to be, and I know the term is kind of aggressive, collateral damage, you did what you did for the greater good. Nobody wants to see that happen. Now, that might be in black and white. On the ground, that's completely different. You've got to be able to live with that decision that you make there, and the rest of your life to deal with that. So, for the most part, depending again, this is completely based on the state and the laws. You justified yes, or justified no. It depends on that state. And I believe Utah is one of those justified yes states. However, but that's law enforcement. Law enforcement has the duty to do that.
Right.
They have duty
Right.
to take action and not flee. Civilian does not.
Do they have now? They use pretty much in most of these laws, in most of these states, they use the reasonable man standard, right? Which is what would the average reasonable person do? And I think for example, the way you just described it, I mean, unless he was just wildly negligent shooting into a crowd. I mean, if he's like, look, this guy's got the gun up, he's about to start blasting people. I need to stop this. That's
there's a
what
big
it
difference,
sounds like
right?
was reasonable. Yeah.
There's a big difference between he was carrying the rifle and he had shouldered it and was getting ready to shoot it, or he had
Right.
put it against his hip and was getting ready to shoot it. There's a big difference. Big difference.
Right.
And way too much to figure out what's going on here without the rest of the evidence.
Right. And by the way, I think it's why it's also important to note that's the reason why Gamboa is actually being charged with murder because this person died while he was in the commission of a crime, which in this case was brandishing of a firearm and could arguably be attempted murder.
Right.
So, and that's, Mike, and that's why that's why I like when we have conversations like this, having you on the show, because there are things that most of us, that a lot of people don't know to think about when looking at situations or analyzing situations like this. So you jump to, oh, well, it looks like this. Well, yeah, but these are the things you need to take into consideration before you jump to conclusions on these things.
Yeah. And again, hugely dependent on that law. You and I can
Yeah.
sit here and come to an understanding, but that doesn't mean the district attorney in Baltimore is not going to charge them 12 minutes after it happens.
Well, it would be surprising if the district attorney in Baltimore did it since it happened in Salt Lake.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know.
Like nowadays, you never. Well, it is. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that guy is whoever runs that the DA there is likely a Democrat. So as long as it's Trump, it doesn't really matter. They'll probably charge Trump for the shooting in Salt Lake.
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah,
Of course they will.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
He instigated it. Yeah.
Well, they just think bad of Trump. And, interestingly, I have to be honest with you. If you had asked me a few years back if I would actually be liking John Fetterman, I would have told you that you were insane. But if you would tell me that he would be the voice of common sense from Democrats, and first of all, I know Democrats and common sense when it comes to politicians doesn't really match. But when he's the guy, the reasonable guy, when he's the guy who you can actually understand not only what he says, but what he means by what he says, you would have cried, well, He's in the news again, and this time once again for calling out his fellow Democrats for some of their crazy rhetoric, whether it's dealing with Israel, whether it's dealing with the border, or whether it's dealing with the parade, the military parade that took place in Washington D.C. Here he is on Fox News, dealing with some of the criticism that has been made of him by his fellow Democrats.
Okay, by extension, I just want to play this piece of video from over the weekend. There were these No Kings rallies all over the country, thousands of them. And this was at the event in Philadelphia when your name was mentioned. Watch here.
Now, this is not a rally for one party. We've got Democrats here today. We've got Republicans and independents here today. We're looking to the leaders who will fight for us, because even today there are folks among the Democratic Party who think we should roll over and play dead. Anyone seen John Fetterman here today?
So, sir, on the same day on Saturday, you sent this out on X. You said the parade is comprised, the U.S. Army parade in Washington. It's comprised of our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, the very best of us, regardless of your politics. It's appropriate to celebrate the 250 years of sacrifice, dedication, and service. What did you think of the boos in Philadelphia?
Well, I think two things can be true. I think absolutely my unapologetically supportive of Israel and a secure border and refuse to vote to shut the government down. I have absolutely. I've taken a hit with from the base. I'm not sure why Democrats would boo a fellow Democrat, but that's their prerogative now. And now with that military parade. Again, there was no goose stepping. Now, like, first of all, let's say stop ever comparing anything to the Nazis and those kinds of things. That's crazy. And now remember, that's our soldiers. That's, this is not an occupying force. This is a 250, anniversary for the Army. Why? I'm not sure why it's outrageous to have a parade to celebrate the Army. Now, look at that video that's on the screen now. That's not, like some kind of anything extreme. It's celebrating, a quarter of a millennia about the American Army. It's like, I don't understand why that's controversial.
One last question, if I could. The president's trying to get ICE to step up deportations, and he specifically named blue-leaning Democratic cities, of which Philadelphia and Pittsburgh were not named, but maybe they could be. Would you support the deportation on behalf of ICE and illegals who live in cities that you represent?
Well, let's talk about what I support. I absolutely support it, and I was the leading co-sponsor of the Lakin bill. So absolutely target the criminals, that are here illegally and deport them. I voted for that. I think that's what we should have. No one here should be here illegally.
I'm sorry, but I don't know about other stuff. There's obviously stuff that, once again, him being a Democrat, that I would disagree with. If all I knew about him was what he said right there, I could vote for that guy.
So let's go somewhere other people don't go, Craig. In April of 22, this is not what he was talking about. He was talking about what
I agree.
The basic Democratic Party line was. All right. He had a stroke. He had a stroke the following month, May of 22. Listen, first off, thank whoever you pray to that he's alive, right? His family didn't have to suffer, and he didn't have to suffer from that much beyond that. He spent a lot of time in rehab. It got to the point where things were changing for him so much. He was suffering from clinical depression and went into treatment shortly after being elected in February of 2023. So there was a 10-month transition in this man's life. Okay. Whether it was the eye-awakening, near-death experience that made him start to see things differently, or Craig, I am a physician's assistant in the Philippines, but I'm not licensed in the United States. I do understand physiology and anatomy, and I can tell you a stroke is when you have blood vessels in your brain that decide, we're broken, we're not going to work, we're going to reroute ourselves, we're going to find another way to get blood through here, or you're going to die. All right. So he has now, and this is very, very basic, okay? Excuse me if there's an MD and a brain surgeon listening. The blood is moving through his brain differently than before. I can't help me think that perhaps the blood moving differently from other parts of the brain to other parts of the brain has stimulated other parts of his own neural process. And
The part of his brain
us
that wasn't working before is now working.
it's just working differently, and every one of us has known somebody that's had a stroke and has been different afterwards. Okay, or had a head injury and been different afterwards. Look what happened to John McCain. John McCain was a champion of the right. We had him up for president, and then he had his brain tumor. And remember what happened to him afterwards? He became Liberal John. All right, this happens. I agree with and love what Fetterman is saying now, but he's not the same Fetterman he was then, and we don't know if he's going to be the same Fetterman next year.
That is true. Okay, that is 100% true. But we can like what he's saying now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm there.
There we go. Anyway, good stuff is happening there with it's. I'm hoping. Here's the thing, though. I know he's not the only Democrat who feels that way. Right. I'm just hoping that him saying it gives the others the courage to speak up, because I would rather debate with a Democratic Party that may be wrong but rational, as opposed to whacked out lefty, let's destroy America Democrat.
Agree. I'll tell you one thing he does need to do, and if he wants to be taken 100% seriously on these things, is put a freaking shirt and tie on when you're going to go do an appearance. And
that's just if you want to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Or how about this? How about a collared shirt?
Anything. Give me something.
How about we start with a collared shirt and maybe a jacket?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
When you're on TV, you just do it from the waist up. How about that?
Yeah.
Just not the hoodie.
Yeah. I mean, Craig and I are wearing basketball shorts right now. I can guarantee it.
No, actually, I have jeans on, and I also have a collared shirt. So
sure you do. So,
see, and look, Mike, sleeves.
Yeah. Oh, you got sleeves on today. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
I got sleeves on today.
You wear caps and sleeves at this league, son.
All right, good stuff. All right, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your hog holster today. All right, so here, which one of these am I going to pull up first?
Hey, Craig, before you jump into those, let me throw out one correction real quick.
Okay.
I referred to when we were talking about the bombing of Iran earlier, the Moab bomb, what's it really called? It's an airburst bomb, but we refer to it as the mother of all bombs. It's a 20,000-pound bomb. That's the GBU-43, one commonly used in Afghanistan. This new one is a 30,000-pound bomb. The GBU-57. That's the one that they're talking about that should be B-2 deployed, because it's not currently ready to be put into a cargo plane for deployment. However, Craig, if I had to dump 2 Moabs out of the back of a cargo plane instead of one of these from a B-2 to save international scrutiny, I don't know why I wouldn't,
There you go. Well, these are the ones, like I said, these are the ones that will once again destroy. These are the ones that will take down a mountain.
So listen, here's just to go back to the tactics of that, right? If all I had was 500-pound bombs and I dropped them one after another for 2 days, I'd get to the bottom of that mountain. Okay. Yeah. And the issue is what you said earlier. They have air dominance. So it doesn't matter. I could be throwing hand grenades out. If I threw enough of them, I'd get to the bottom of that bomb or bottom of that mountain.
Well, exactly. But what they don't want to do is like what they were talking about. You don't want to send people in there with explosives, because you can lose a lot of men in there trying to find out where exactly you need to be in order to destroy it from the inside.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, and I don't want to dwell on it. One of the rules of modern warfare is you can control the air all day long, and you cannot win the war without controlling the air. However, you cannot win the war without putting boots on the ground after you control the air. So we can control the air all day long and bomb everything back to the Stone Age. But until you put boots on the ground to keep them from doing it again, it's not going to stop.
Exactly. All right, moving back to our parting shots. We got this first one. This is the guy talking about Gavin Newsom considering a run for president.
Gavin Newsom, who's running for president now. Did you know that? Yeah, that's fine. I agree. I don't know what his platform is going to be. Are your taxes too low? Are there not enough homeless people pooping on your streets? Do you hate it that your kid's genitals aren't being mutilated? That was probably too much. All right.
All right, so here's what's funny about this one. Mike sent me that one a couple of days ago, and I didn't see it. And last night, I sent him the very same video, almost back to back.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is definitely a good one. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the work of Gavin Newsom, this little Welcome to California video will probably let you know, should he become president, what America could become like.
Come to California, the land of paradise where
safety is our biggest concern. Emotional and mental health is a major priority.
law and order is paramount. We love America! Love is everywhere.
And peace is found right here, every day.
We love California. We love California.
We love California.
We'll see you here soon.
Yeah. For those of you, if you're just listening to the program, you got to go and you got to find that video. You've got to check it out because it is a doozy. It is definitely a doozy. And then this last one here, and this one is in honor of Florida. Mike talks all the time about swamp puppies. Well, here is a perfect example of a swamp puppy.
Hey, yep.
Come on, get up here.
Look
Get
at
up
this.
here. Come on.
Heck
Dinner spot.
Heck no.
Oh,
Hey.
whoa, look at this.
Man.
Look at that big mouth. Oh,
Oh my
you
God.
big boy. Wow. Take it easy. Wow. Oh, you big baby. Look at this.
Man, look on this one, Mark, man.
Such a good dog. Oh, Spot.
I'm out here looking for a real dog.
Yeah, Spot.
I swear, y'all just keep coming up with the craziest stuff ever.
I would say that's white people shit, but that's like beyond white people. That's like,
Here, boy. Here, boy.
that's Florida man. That's Florida man white people shit. That's not normal white people.
Okay, if the video itself of the guy petting the alligator like it was a dog, feeding it and then petting it, if that wasn't enough, the white guy pointing out that like that's beyond white people shit. That's some like Florida man white people shit.
That's and let's be clear, that one's a swamp dog. He's bigger than a swamp puppy. He's bigger than a swamp.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that was a fun video. That was definitely a fun video.
Just for any Democrats watching this, right? Don't try that. Okay.
No.
Don't try. Okay.
No, do not try that.
Also completely illegal. You know, listen, this guy's probably a trapper or something like that, and that's probably a rescue gator. You know, it's probably good for the video. Don't go doing this. All right, it's not only completely illegal, but it'll get you dead. You know, DRD.
It will not work out well for you.
DRT, baby.
If not dead, it'll turn you into a lefty. Put it that way.
Yeah, your nickname will be Lefty after that. Yep.
Your name will be Lefty. Yeah.
Or Stumpy.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of the program, but we got one more thing to do, and that's one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get yourself your AR barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And again, if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, military, law enforcement, security, EMS, fire, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, get an order in over at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors, and let them know it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And that's going to bring us to the end of our program today. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun. Stay safe. We will see you mañana.